Wars all over the world have ended. However, strange people with superpowers suddenly emerged to help preserve the peace. Now we shift our attention to Teru Momojama. She stays true to her name, and she is Japan's shyest person. Even more so, she works as Japan's hero under the moniker Shai. She has a fish mascot, Bo, who is her partner. Soon, the roller coaster nearby stops dead in its tracks, leaving its patrons hanging upside down. Shai goes to save them, but Aiko Koishikawa tells her to save others first. She's gonna save everyone, so the order shouldn't matter. Shai does so, and when Aiko is the last one, the roller coaster goes off by itself. Shai uses all her strength to stop it, but it seems Aiko is injured and unconscious. In the aftermath after Aiko is hospitalized, Teru becomes depressed over her failure to save someone. Even more so, the media and irresponsible parties are blaming her for it. This takes a toll on her so much that she can't transform. She dreads of being a hero when a real hero, Papasha Andrianov, pops up to give her some great advice that heroes can't save everybody. Even so, they must continue what they do. She leaves for an urgent mission. Teru continues to be depressed as she hears more unsettling rumors about Japan's hero. But when a nearby building catches fire, she sees Aiko's brother wants to be a hero and rush in to save others just like Shai. Only a slab is going to fall on him. Teru dives to save him. She gets her hero mojo back as she enters the building to scout for survivors. She hears a baby's cry. Her trauma activates when she realizes the mother has no pulse. This doesn't deter her as she tries to save them. She thought she failed again, but luckily Papasha is here in the nick of time to assist. Later, Aiko's brother thanks her for that day and relays the good news Aiko has regained consciousness. Papasha then takes Shai to space, actually the HQ for heroes. She brings her to meet Unilord, the leader who oversees the heroes. She claims despite wars having ended, there is darkness in everyone's heart, and there are parties trying to take advantage of that to bring chaos. Hence their real duties as heroes are to protect. Teru returns to school, and to her surprise, Aiko transfers to her class and is seated right next to her. Though she still blames herself for being the only person she couldn't save. Teru continues to worry about Aiko's thoughts on Shai. She was after all injured because of her inability to save her. Teru even caught her crying alone and thought the pain was unbearable. After bringing her to the infirmary, Aiko tells her how she got it. Teru wonders if she hates Shai because, had she been saved, she wouldn't have been injured. Aiko denies because she would never hate those who worked for her, especially Shai, who saved her. This brings Teru to tears. As she goes to the toilet to freshen up, this strange boy, Stigma, starts to corrupt Aiko. He puts a dark ring on her finger to let all her true emotions bottled in her heart out. When Teru returns, Aiko has started transforming into a monster. She starts to feel hurt as crystals start spiking out from her body. As Stigma puts it, her true feelings are filled with rage and hatred. As Abo analyzes the crystal materializing as her hate for someone, Teru assumes it is towards Shai. But as we see, her parents perished in a fire to save their children. That hatred is towards herself because had they not saved her, they wouldn't have died. Not wanting Teru to get hurt, Aiko tries to kill herself. Teru transforms and stops that. She wonders why she won't ask for help. Aiko is starting to lose it. Desperate, now she pleads for help. Teru transports her to an open space as Abo completes his analysis. Just separate that ring from her. As the corruption starts to overwhelm her, Aiko starts blaming Shai and other heroes. Why weren't they there to save them? Abo warns Shai not to listen to her, but on the contrary, Shai will do it so as to answer her with all her heart. Aiko then starts attacking her while she just stands there and takes it all in. Flashback shows a young Teru was depressed after someone died. She thought it was futile to save someone when what lies ahead is emptiness. Grandpa told her how people are happiest when they live for others. Even in death, that person continues to live on in that person's heart. They risk their lives for that connection. As Aiko continues to blame herself for her parents' deaths, Shai hugs her. That kindness dispels her corruption, as Shai is able to easily take off the ring. In the aftermath, Aiko apologizes for all the troubles, but Shai is okay with it. She also dispenses Grandpa's advice about passing kindness to others. Whenever she feels guilty, she passes on that kindness to someone. If everyone could smile because of that, nothing would make her happier. And so Aiko thanks Shai for saving her. Teru and Aiko are hanging out to get to know each other well. At the shopping complex, they find a lost boy, and Aiko being the outgoing type, she helps him reunite with his parents. She, after all, has a little brother herself. Then they notice a poster of Stardust. He is also a hero, but is also a famous rock star. Not only that, he has established a lot of charitable and aid groups around the world. Soon, Pepesha contacts Teru and wants her to bring her and her friend to their base for a meeting. Stardust will also be there. Aiko meets Unilord for the first time as we learn that Stigma has been spotted around the world. It is believed he wants to free people's hearts. The heroes are surprised that Shai was able to have the ring completely intact. Something about her tried to understand Aiko's heart, and somehow it worked. Further analysis of the ring shows that it uses a person's heart as energy to crystallize since it is filled with unimaginable powers. This is the same concept as how their hero's bracelet works. Only this ring forces itself deeper to bring out all the darkness within. Stardust had an experience with this as a friend of his was forced upon a ring. How did he solve it? He cut off his friend's finger. The true reason Unilord called Stardust for this meeting is because since he is one of the few who can act without mercy for his own sake, she wants him to fight Shai. Shai lacks battle experience, and Stardust is the right person to do it. After all, there is a chance Stigma might appear before her again. Pepesha wants to do it, but Unilord will not allow it since she has grown too attached to Shai. Shai agrees to do this. Stardust wonders if she is serious because is she going to quit being a hero forever if she loses? Going over the rules, whoever loses their will to fight and has their transformation undone, loses. But Stardust is confident that if Shai manages to land a single punch on his face, she wins. Shai keeps throwing punches, but she just cannot hit him. But he could easily land a nasty one for her. He tells her off that her emotions and naivety make her weak. That is why she rejects victory. He continues to beat her up, and this makes the ladies squirm. He further adds insult, saying that she is so weak and making her friends worry all about her. However, Shai has not given up. Because of her friends cheering for her, she can continue to stand up. But still, she gets pounded, and Stardust continues that this naivety of hers will get her killed by even more heartless enemies. But reverse psychology from Shai. Because she thinks Stardust being a heartless person and going all out against her is his form of kindness, so that she could get mad at him and fight back. Stardust's flashback shows he got involved in some fights, so his friend told him that despite others calling him heartless, he fought back to prove he has a heart. He suggested he become the nicest person in the world to prove to others that they were all just talking. As Shai starts to punch back at him incessantly, she runs out of power and her transformation undone. Stardust says she is not cut out to be a hero since she runs on emotions and burns out when she overuses them. However, it is fools like her who will change the world. He admits his loss since she was able to touch his face before she came undone. Teru has been sleeping for 2 hours at the base, and when she comes to, she learns heroes Lady Black and Dr. Schwartz have healed her. They are from the Black Cross, a medical international organization created by Stardust. Lady Black seems to have an issue with Shai as a hero. She believes, just like Stardust, she is too emotional to be as one, and she made a civilian nervous. Heroes are supposed to be reassuring, so if she is ashamed of herself, quit being a hero now. Back home, Teru apologizes to Aiko for the troubles but vows to become stronger. On the news, a riot in China, and definitely Stigma was behind this. This strengthens Teru's will that she can't falter now if she wants to be everyone's hero. Teru is visited by Lady Black since she needs to follow up on her patient. While Teru is all fine and okay, it looks like Teru needs her to treat an old lady of a stationery shop who has chronic back pain. Once she is healed, she thinks of hiking up a mountain since it is a special place for her and her late husband. And just like that, Teru is now hiking with Granny and Piltz. Teru has no stamina, and what a shame, Granny can beat her. She is surprised to learn Piltz hates hiking, despite being pretty good at it. She claims there were naysayers who said she couldn't do it, and she did it to prove them wrong. At the top, as they take a break, Piltz reveals the truth. She lost both legs in an accident when she was young. Growing up in a mountainous country like Switzerland was certainly a challenge, But she did not let that stop her. She will not let her disability limit what she can do. The same can be said for Teru, but she needs a hell lot more stamina training. Piltz hints she doesn't mind training her to be a proper hero. As Teru ponders how she could use her heart's power more efficiently, she can't concentrate in classes. And what's this? She keeps thinking of Heatfire, until she stumbles upon a calligraphy of the word flame. A tall girl thinks she is interested in joining. Being a person unable to say no, Teru is then made to sit and watch the calligraphy club president doing his beautiful strokes. As she tries some out herself, the president's great advice is that in calligraphy you have only one chance, and if you pass that expression from your heart to your arm, that character on paper is born from the flick of the wrist. This gives Teru great motivation, so she returns home and starts her own calligraphy. She writes flames and is proud of it, but she puts too much heart in it, so much so the paper is on fire. Stigma laments heroes judge people by their hearts and lock them away with nowhere to go. He won't destroy the world. It is the heroes who will be destroyed. He thaws out Tzveta Koriskaya from her icy captivity. Shai and Pepesha are being summoned by Unilord as they will head to the North Pole for a mission. They rendezvous with another hero waiting there, Mayan Long. According to the research officer, they received a distress signal from a ship stuck in the ice floe. As they ride a helicopter there, it seems Shai is amazed by the strange formation of ice. Do ice spikes happen in the North Pole? Luckily, they get out in time as the spikes penetrate the copter. The one who attacked them is Tzveta, and she thinks attacking heroes would warm her up. Pepesha thinks she is a victim of Stigma, but is attacked and told not to assume people's hearts. Now they wonder if she is Stigma's comrade because she doesn't have a ring. The heroes attack, but Tzveta won't easily go down despite her lackadaisical attitude. At one point, Shai needs to get rescued by Pepesha before death knocks on her door. Pepesha is in shock when Tzveta hints she knows her. This allows the icy girl to deal a severe blow and freezes her. Tzveta takes a liking for Shai since her flames are warm. The fight continues until Mayan Long is able to scratch her with his claw. It is not to hurt others, but to put them to sleep. It is then Stigma pops up to collect Tzveta. He talks about this Stigma name the heroes have labeled him. It must be lovely to have someone call you by your name. Like how he named Tzveta and this other comrade, Weepy. Because of that, he thinks of naming his own group, Amararuku, the ones who dream. Unilord, Shai, and Mayan Long review Stigma's speech as he founded the Amararuku, worried about one of its members, Tzveta Koriskaya, as she can manipulate ice without the need of a ring. Unilord apologizes for not being able to notice it was all a trap, even if Shai and probably Mayan Long didn't blame her for that. Just then, Lady Black calls Shai to tell her she has finished treating her, so they leave. Meanwhile, Unilord is heavily worried things might get worse. At the infirmary, Pepesha checks her injury, but quickly hides it as they arrive, the latter asking if she is okay. Pepesha tries to brush it off. However, Lady Black is the one to deny that notion, also worried about the fact that she was injured even though she was transformed at the time. To this, the said victim reveals to be rather intrigued by how Tzveta called her before and wonders about the childlike appearances of the members of the Amararuku. To Unilord's decision to call Aiko Koishikawa so they could know more about Stigma, the heroes seem to understand, even though a bit worried. Once at the discussion table, Unilord tells the group she has made progress on analyzing Stigma's ring, and Aiko compliments by commenting that she thinks she might have seen Stigma's childish heart while she was fighting with Shai. She is almost sure his true goal is to achieve world peace, which all the heroes, especially Lady Black, find it hard to believe. Unilord, and then Shai thanks her, but Aiko just says she wanted to help them somehow. Pepesha then brings attention to the fact that Tzveta was similar to her when she was a child. When bad memories come to surface, a worried Lady Black suggests that Pepesha go home and rest, to which she agrees, and tells them that she would investigate this matter when she gets better. As she leaves, she stands in the corridor for a little while, rather contemplative, until Shai approaches her. Shai is worried about Pepesha's well-being, but as she doesn't seem to take this seriously, the Japanese hero gets mad. Pepesha tells her that she should try to smile if she wants to cheer someone up and attempts to take her leave. However, Shai stops her and says with a smile that she can help her carry her burdens now. As Unilord, Lady Black, and Mayan Long were observing from afar, both of them agreed to help each other out. Some days after this, Shai is seen at a mall dressed like an anime character. Specifically, she is cosplaying Revosksul, the main character of Rise's Civil Revolution. She is doing this because it was requested of her by Hiromi Seki, and she was convinced when Vilio told her she would receive a reward for the work. Hiromi approaches Shai, happy that the sales are going well because of the hero, but then asks her at the last minute that she participates in a special talk show as Revosksul. She reluctantly accepts and complains mentally about the situation. Shai thinks no one would be interested in her as a hero. However, many children ask her quite a variety of different questions. To her surprise, suddenly a little boy yells that a true hero wouldn't pretend to be Revosksul, and even though Shai actually agrees to this fact, he is quickly heavily criticized away by the girls in the event, so he runs away. Shai meets with him later, however, and as she sits down with her, she asks what he meant before. It so happens that he is obsessed with Revosksul and is so upset with a hero that he tries to leave but trips, letting go of his commemorative balloon. Shai doesn't let it fly away, as she jumps to get it and give it back to him. She says liking something has nothing to do with being a boy or a girl, which makes him think she is the de facto Revosksul. Finally, by the end of the day, Hiromi gives her her reward, a complete set of the anime. Shai isn't happy at first, but watches it at home and becomes a fan. Teru leaves Japan for Russia to help Papisha uncover the mysteries of her childhood. Going back to the orphanage where she once grew up, they meet the director, Isak, who gives them a warm welcome. The kids still remember Papisha, and she is awfully popular with them. Without Papisha's help of sending money every month, the orphanage would have closed down. In the library, they go through old photo albums. Then a nostalgic picture drops out. It is a picture of her mom, Latana, also known as Lena, who also grew up in this orphanage. She was also an alcoholic, and this is why Papisha took after her mom. During lunch, Papisha is reunited with a longtime staff member, Natalia. She has them look through her old photo album of her during her younger days. But as Teru goes through the album, she realizes the very unsettling resemblance Lena as a child to Tzveta. This confuses Papisha. His mom is already dead, and she has no sisters. Suddenly a loud scream outside. Everything else has been frozen. Emararuku must be here. Noticing a person frozen in ice, once Shai melts it, Kyufufu Kekarakura gives a surprise kick. The psycho girl is part of Amararuku and wants to happily kill everyone in this world. Tzveta is also here, as Papisha wonders if this is Stigma taking advantage of her heart to make Tzveta in Lena's image. Tzveta notes she has no memories prior to her awakening at the North Pole. She only somewhat remembers about Papisha and this place. Either she loved it or hated it. Papisha thinks Tzveta is mocking Lena, but Tzveta approves of Stigma's ideals and knows she hates this world. Tzveta then separates the orphanage from the rest of the world in ice, a place she calls Amararuku. Tzveta unleashes her Amararuku onto Yuri Orphanage while Stigma is observing from afar. Soon, Isak, Natalia, and the children from the orphanage fall unconscious as they discover they cannot hold their own inside her personal space. Shai tries and charges against Tzveta, only to be attacked by a deadly cheerful Kyufufu, and the hero quickly notices that she is difficult to deal with due to her unpredictable movements. The Amararuku actually has a special ability that allows her to store anything she wants on her body, thus making it almost impossible to really know what she'll pull next. However, Shai is still unable to understand their reasons, to which Tzveta gives up on trying to explain, telling Kyufufu to do the same. Papisha intervenes by attacking both, but it doesn't affect them that much, and just as Kyufufu is about to comply to Tzveta's request to keep Shai busy, the Russian hero pushes her away with her signature technique. Tzveta and Kyufufu end up arguing, and while they are at that, Papisha tells Shai to distract them to give her an opportunity to take the civilians out of the Amararuku. Papisha is able to get past the wall of ice. However, she is just taken right behind Tzveta. Being her Amararuku, she is in absolute control, and nothing can leave if she doesn't allow it. Tzveta reveals her goal is Papisha memories all along, and thus connects her heart to the orphanage residents, so she could destabilize the hero. Even if Shai tries to intervene, she is unable to due to Kyufufu's intervention. Pepesha then notices that Tzveta's influence is freezing the civilians, and they would soon break should they do nothing. This fact enrages Pepesha, who charges against Tzveta. Shai notices something is wrong about their reactions to Pepesha's rage, but it is already too late, as Tzveta absorbs the hero's heart and recovers her memories. Tzveta's real name is Latana Andronova, Pepesha's mother, and she was also an orphan at Yuri Orphanage and close friend to Natalia. When she came of age and graduated, she left the orphanage and gave birth to Pepesha. Her life seemed fulfilled. However, she died tragically after falling in a frozen river. Pepesha is overwhelmed by her mother's memories and is frozen by Tzveta, while Shai is still trying to free herself from Kyufufu. Time to delve a little bit into Lena's history. At least when she left the orphanage and tried to live her own life. It was the first time she realized how cold the world was. With Pepesha in tow, Lena was having a hard time making ends meet. The recession had her being retrenched, and she was months behind her rental payments. When Lena gave what was little left of the food to Pepesha, the little girl tried to be considerate to share, but Lena blew her top instead. This makes Lena wonder if she would be a good mother for Pepesha, because she started thinking it would be better for herself to disappear. But seeing her innocent demeanor, she realized she couldn't give up. Then at a bakery, she tries to get a small cookie, but the kind owner gives her an entire cake instead. As she left, some jealous hobo mugged her as Lena fell into the cold river. Lena accepted her fate that this world is cruel and hoped children like Pepesha would not know about it. Hence she was willing to become a demon to destroy it. She will protect them all from this hell. It seems Shai has also seen the same memories, although Kyufufu continues to keep her at bat. Tzveta confirms she is Lena, and she will embrace any hatred in this world. As she beckons Pepesha to come with her, Shai breaks in and gives her peace of mind that she has no idea how precious she is to Pepesha. Tzveta notes her warm flames are not needed anymore as her own freezing cold power starts to overwhelm. But Shai fights back. All she can sense is only loneliness. Shai knows because she saw the same in Aiko, trying to sacrifice oneself for others. The reason Pepesha is here now is because of her love that she shares with others. That is how she became a hero. As Shai is willing to share her pain, she hopes Pepesha can deliver her feelings to Mom. Pepesha is back to her groove as she transforms into a hero. She was afraid of hurting Lena, scared of being hated by her. Now she realizes she should have just told her how she felt. Time for their first mother-daughter fight. Pepesha regrets not conveying her feelings to her mother, but decides to do it now. With her will regained, Pepesha questions Tzveta on what she thought of her daughter, and this makes her have flashes of happy memories. Kyufufu intervenes, however, to remind her of what her true goal is. Tzveta's eyes turn black, and her Amararuku gets even stronger, affecting even the city nearby the orphanage. To convey their feelings, Pepesha and Shai join forces and charge against Tzveta and Kyufufu. While Shai's flames break through the ice, Pepesha is able to fly where Tzveta is and calm her down by hugging her. Tzveta finally remembers a good memory, one in which mother and daughter promise to always stay together and be each other's source of warmth. Pepesha reminisces over her past, not longer after she became an orphan and joined Yuri Orphanage. She was looking for a photo with her and Latana, but then Natalia approaches her. Pepesha wondered if her mother hated her, so to cheer her up, Natalia gave her some letters Latana had sent her when she was drunk. Latana actually hoped to drink with her daughter when she got older, and to this, Pepesha burst into tears as she missed her. Holding Tzveta's hands, Pepesha is finally able to tell her mother she loves her, and the Amararuku starts to crumble. Kyufufu frees herself from Shai, however, and tries to convince Tzveta to keep going, but is told to return. She complies, although extremely sad. Pepesha takes note of what she said, and Tzveta confirms she would soon disappear with her Amararuku. The hero is clearly not content with this outcome. She reveals to them that Stigma's ability is to give form to others' dreams, but he cannot do it with his own dream, which is why he created the Amararuku. With this new information, she urges them to stop his plans. Finally, she thanks Shai for having helped her connect with her daughter and tells Pepesha to keep on guiding the younger hero. Tzveta and Pepesha then fulfill a final wish both have, to drink together. While Shai is taking care of the orphanage residents, they talk over alcohol, and Latana finally conveys her love to Pepesha before disappearing completely. Shai approaches her fellow hero to encourage her, so Pepesha drinks the rest of her bottle and gets up. As she starts to leave, however, Shai notices there is a ring where Tzveta was. Natalia talks to Pepesha about Lena, as she was someone whom she looked up to. Even as a child, Lena always acted maturely and always helped others. She was like a hero, and now her daughter is a real hero. Stardust and Lady Black just arrived, as Unilord has sent reinforcements. Unilord also relays the good news that all governments and heroes agree to share info about Stigma and Amararuku. Pepesha gives Stardust an intact ring from Tzveta to have it analyzed. Shai thanks him for the training, but he says he did nothing to deserve such since she became strong on her own. Lady Black also admits she has become stronger. Now we see Stigma consoling Kyufufu. He notes that even if one's body disappears, the heart remains because it is eternal. So don't worry. Tzveta and everyone will all become one in the end. With Teru returning to Japan, she is a bit sick and under the weather. Aiko takes this chance to help nurse her. As Teru sleeps, she dreams of how her sister used to take care of her when she was ill. The thing she liked best was her back rub. Aiko just heard her sleep talking. Teru reveals about her older sister, although she died many years ago. Aiko assures her that despite all that they have gone through and Teru being a hero, they are just normal girls living a normal life. Teru soon gets well and returns to her normal school life. Meanwhile, a mad Doki Baragaki is looking for Stigma, but finds Kyufufu in her endless fishing for Tzveta. Both are about to fight, but are stopped by Inori Hallelujah, who preaches love. She further talks about the wonderful world their master has given them, and that by sharing this world with all of humanity, only true tranquility will be attained. Doki asks her if she knows where Stigma is, and he is with Utsuro Karakuri near Tokyo Tower, architecting his next plan.